What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Guys, we back in Sweden, and I know I've done so many Swedish videos, and I was happy to see this one from my guy, Johan Gray, who's a professional basketball player playing in Sweden. And y'all know me, I'm a basketball fan, the only basketball fan. I have a travel basketball team, and I train other players for basketball. So I was happy to see this because I've seen a lot of Sweden, and this is probably the first basketball player I've got a chance to, getting a chance to see. So y'all definitely gotta make sure y'all subscribe to Jawan Gray's channel. Um, Subscribe right now. Give it a thumbs up. He's almost at 1,000 subscribers. So hopefully when this video drop, y'all can change that for him. We just need 15 more people. So if y'all would support most of my Swedish, Finnish, Scandinavian, Nordic countries, you know, this is major for me because, like I said, basketball fan. I seen hockey. Now we got basketball. So, but we checking out 6 major culture shocks after returning to U.S. from Europe. So y'all know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Let's check
I'm a
it out.
professional basketball player who just finished up an 8-month season playing professional basketball overseas in Sweden. And I just got back to the States a little less than a month ago, and I'm already noticing some major changes. So if you live outside of the US and you want to visit for some reason, or if you want to move, I have 6 major differences that I realized from my life abroad compared to my life now here in America.
Okay.
Previously on Ready to Die. Charleston Chew, an underrated candy bar. This is a Charleston
Aye.
classic. Towson against Xavier.
Okay, he really liked that. Okay. I gotta see that dunk again. He really liked that. I'm gonna have to follow him on Instagram too. Okay. High school to pro. Hey. Okay. Putting people in a coffin over there. Okay. I see you. Okay, he really liked that.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. It's the real Juan here. And if you're new to the channel, thank y'all for tapping into this video. So if you're not familiar with my channel, I'm Jawan. So I'll just give you an in-depth experience of what it's like being a professional athlete, playing overseas,
What part of Sweden
provide
he's in?
lifestyle vlogs, and just different vibes in general. So if you're new, tap into the channel, hit the like button, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. So the first reverse culture shock I would say that I experienced in the United States after living in Europe for the past 8 months is small talk or a different kind of greetings. So typically, if you live in the United States, small talk isn't really a big thing. You know, people are always on the move, always on go.
That's true.
Trying to get to where they need to get to. Typically, you walk past somebody on the street, or if you're waiting to go inside of an elevator, these are how these conversations would go if you were in these scenarios. Hey, what's up? Nothing much. How about yourself? Oh, I'm doing well, thank you. And then
That's
they'll just
it
keep
on there.
moving.
Yep.
That's literally how a conversation would go if you live in America. There's
That's
not that much
exactly
small
how-
talk that goes on. And it's actually funny because when I was living in Sweden, they would ask me, how come you guys don't prolong a conversation? Like, if I ask you, hey, how are you doing? I would expect you to tell me actually how you're doing and not just say, oh, I'm good.
And I've said that, y'all know, we've seen so many videos, and I tell you, that's just how it is. And I don't know, it's a norm here. It's a very normal thing. You tell somebody, hey, how are you? Hey, how are you? And that could be it. Or, you know, if you see somebody you know from a distance, hey, what's up? You know, that's it. Like, but I know me personally, I like small talk, especially if I'm in the grocery store. I'm trying to get in and out. I ain't gonna lie.
The second reverse culture shock that I realized once I came back to America is I'm gonna be flat out and say it. People are unapologetically rude out here. And by rude, I'm just saying like, yo, angry at the world, like because they having a bad day, they gotta shed their bad light on somebody else.
That's true. People
I didn't
do
really
that.
get a chance to experience it that much when I was in Europe, but I literally saw this the first 10 minutes when I landed back in the United States. From Sweden to Chicago, because that's the airport that I stopped at. 10 minutes into me being at the airport in Chicago, I'm getting acclimated to how the United States once was from my previous time out here before I left to go to Sweden. And there's people on the move. First of all, I forgot how on go people was. Like, there's so many people rushing at one time, and that kind of messed me up a little bit because life wasn't as fast paced as it is here compared to Europe.
And that's a fact. Just imagine he's seeing people walking. You get on the street, people are rushing on the streets every day. Late to work. If you late, you already late. Whether you 5, 10 minutes, 20 minutes late, late is late. And people are rushing on the road to get to work. It's even crazier on the roads.
So I'm walking to my gate to try to get to where I have to get to. And people are bumping me, not saying nothing.
Oh,
and also, too, I stopped to get something to eat because we were just on the flight for 8.5 hours. I'm going to get some food at the convenience store in the terminal, and people have an attitude with me because I'm trying to order something. Like,
wow.
I'm over here trying to be cheerful and everything, but I put my food on the counter, cashier just looking at me like this. Like, that's all. I'm like,
Craziness.
damn, like, what'd I do to you? So,
on everything.
If you're coming from Europe, you need to be prepared for that. Number 3, hustle culture. I'm not saying hustle culture is a good thing. I'm not saying hustle culture is a bad thing, because people have to do what they have to do. Facts. Depending on the circumstances. Hustle culture is rampant in the United States. Maybe because America is a capitalistic society, so people from America always have to be on the move. Maybe it's because people, they got bills to pay. If you go to school, you have to pay for your tuition. If you have a crib, you're living by yourself, or if you have a roommate, or shoot, even if you're living with your folks, you might have to pay for rent, you know, your utilities. You got to pay for food, and maybe
everything come at a price.
I didn't see that in Sweden as much because the government, they provide more assistance for their citizens. Not just Sweden, but a lot of countries in Europe, they provide free healthcare for their citizens. They provide tuition, free education. So since those basic necessities are taken care of, they really don't have to worry about all the other expenses.
I'm telling you, people can have a lot of money here in the States, and they're probably paying probably most of their life, paying their education off still and paying off healthcare because people get sick. I'm telling you, those two things that he just named are the two reasons people are in debt, or people that have money seem like they have nothing just because they're trying to pay this stuff off. And this ain't a couple of dollars. This ain't a couple of hundred. This is a couple of thousands of dollars too.
So the fourth reverse culture shock that I realized coming from Sweden to America is the accessibility. I'm going to just say this. The United States public transportation system has nothing on Europe. Like I told y'all, I lived in a super small city in Sweden, and that city was called Shopping. Fun fact, Shopping was actually voted the number 1 most boring city in Sweden.
Oh, that's how you spell it. I got to remember that. I got to do a video on that too.
Shopping was actually voted the number 1 most boring city.
Shopping. So we got a K. I'm going to have to remember Sweden, that.
Which is crazy. And I lived there for 8 months. I didn't have a bad time. I made the most of my opportunity. But I was able to travel to different places all throughout the country because of the elite public transportation system. The trains are super high maintenance. You can literally get on a train to go to anywhere you want to get to in Europe. That doesn't have to cross a body of water. And the prices for that are extremely cheap. I used to take a train to go to Stockholm when I lived in Sweden. Stockholm is the biggest city in the entire country of Sweden.
Hey, that's where I'm going.
It was an hour and a half away from Shopping, which is where I lived. To get from Shopping to Stockholm and Stockholm back to Shopping, the entire price for me to do that was $25, which is extremely
That's not bad.
cheap. And mind you, the trains were super nice. They had 2 levels, the Wi-Fi was popping on there, and they were clean. And also, the city buses in Sweden, they were clean, and they had Wi-Fi. And it was cheap as well. I live in a small city now in Delaware, so the transportation really isn't as prevalent as I noticed back in Europe. I don't really see the bus too often. I rode the bus one time, and it was dirty. Yo, that joint was disgusting.
That's just like, I rode the subway before in New York, and it's disgusting. Like, if you ever seen the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and how they were like underground railroads and all that, that's really how it is. Like, it's so many big rats up in the New York subways. Like, these things, like, I don't know. Like, they were probably leading the pack of turtles or something. For real. I didn't want
to touch anything. And also, there was no Wi-Fi on the bus. And like I told y'all before, people are rude. The fifth reverse culture shock I noticed is the lifestyle. We don't promote healthy lifestyles here in America. At all. If you go on any street, any corner, you're bound to find a fast food chain, whether it's McDonald's, Burger King, Chick-fil-A, Wendy's, Five Guys. You know, I just named 6 fast food restaurants right there. And there's plenty more to choose
And they probably
from.
right by each
Like
other.
I told you before, and the last point, everybody has a car. You have to drive to get to where you want to get to. And there's also fast food that is available for you at your convenience, which isn't a great recipe for your health. And this goes to show you, which is why America is one of the most obese countries in the entire world.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, I just think it's going to get worse because we're not promoting healthy lifestyles for ourselves. You know,
Getting
compared
more
to Europe,
restaurants.
there were fast food restaurants. We had a McDonald's and we had a burger place in my town. Those were the only two fast food restaurants that we had in my entire city. But like I said, everything was accessible there, and people were walking to work. People were riding their bikes to work. And just that promotes healthier lifestyles for you because you're getting your exercise in by walking outside or riding your bike to and from work, wherever you go. And that's normal over there. And you don't see too many people who are obese or overweight because they're using certain techniques to keep them in shape and ultimately keep them away from the doctor and keep them healthy. And the last culture shock that I realized from being back in America, yo, the food is trash. Like trash.
That's why I'm ready to go to Sweden, because y'all know the first thing I'm going to do, of course, I'm going to show y'all, first day. But the second thing I'm going to do is try some foods, because I've had some snacks. I had some candy, chips, all these different things. Now it's time to get to the nitty gritty. I still haven't even been to IKEA to try the meatballs, but I might as well wait to get the real authentic meatballs from Sweden.
Has nothing compared to Europe. Call me biased if you want, but I lived there for 8 months and I'm a picky eater. I was one of those chicken tenders and fries guys whenever I go to a restaurant because I was too picky to eat anything else. Yo, I went over to Europe and my palate changed dramatically. Like I eat almost everything now. Mind you, I still got work to do. I'm still afraid to try some foods here and there, but for the most part, I can eat a lot of stuff that I normally wouldn't eat before if I lived in the United States. And that's because the food over there is made with fresh ingredients compared to these states. And in the United States, they insert all of these chemicals into our food, and that takes away from its natural state. You know, but in Europe, I actually noticed that there were some candies and foods that were banned.
12 banned. Okay, I need to find this list, because I just did one about Germany. The BVO, I just seen that one. They said they took that out of the Mountain Dews
due to the fact that there were other chemicals and stuff that we're not supposed to be eating in our foods. So the food is different in Europe. Like I used to go to the grocery store every week when I was in Europe, and just off of this alone, like I ate so much bread because it tasted so good. Like I used to get blueberry muffins and a loaf of bread that was baked on the same day, and it was fresh. That would be my go-to. I'd get like 2 or 3 blueberry muffins and eat them in one sitting and not care. Dang. And also too, when you dine in restaurants in the States, you know, your server, you know, they bring you to your table, and pretty often they check in on you. They have to bring you your beverages, they bring you your food, and they just check on you from time to time to make sure everything is all right. It kind of makes you feel rushed in a sense. Prime example right here. I went to this Mexican restaurant with my folks. You know, we was having a good time and everything, and the waiter just kept coming in to check on us. You know, maybe they don't think they're doing anything wrong because that's probably what they're taught in the training. It just makes you feel like they're being rushed when the server is constantly coming to you and asking you if everything's okay, especially when it's pretty busy in the restaurant too.
See, working at a restaurant, they tell us to do that. They always tell us to make sure you go and check on your customers. Like frequently, like me, it was one of those things in the training where they're like, make sure you check on them, but don't like go. I guess it's different depending on the restaurant. Cause I was told, make sure you go check on them, but also make sure you're not disturbing when they're eating and stuff. Like check on them, like probably before they get their food and after they're finished eating type of thing. But you do have some, they will check if the food is good, then boom, they will leave. And they'll come back probably once you're done eating type of thing. But if they keep coming back over and over, like, that gets
it makes you feel like you're rushed
tiring
and
right
they're
there.
trying to get you out of there so they can serve the next party. And also another thing, when you dine in at restaurants in the United States, a tip is not mandatory, but it's highly recommended. What I know in Sweden and probably some other countries as well, a tip is not required at all. Like they're not even supposed to accept it. My first week when I was in Sweden, I went to a breakfast place called the Waffle Lounge. As soon as we finished eating, we getting ready to go, I put money on the table and I presume to walk out the door. The waiter flags me down, hands me my money back, and tells me that we don't accept tips. And I was kind of shocked because just being in America, that's something that traditionally we're supposed to do.
What you do, yeah.
So these were the 6 differences that I noticed from coming back to the United States after living in Sweden for the past 8 months. And I didn't make this video to bash the United States or anything. I just used this video to help out somebody who may be interested in coming to move to the United States or just visiting for a month or two or whenever time you might. Because you want to be prepared for anything. So that's all I have. Thank y'all for watching this video. And like I told y'all before, if you're new to the channel, please leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe for your boy. So until next time, y'all take it easy. Peace.
Okay, I messed with this. This was good. This was good. And it's real. It's real. I gotta see that I left the United States to move to Sweden video next. But yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. I subscribed. Yeah, he's absolutely right, man. All 6 of those points, just because that's what I'm ready to experience, and I just know I'd be nervous. I'm a nervous traveler, especially traveling by myself. But I know the time is coming, very very soon. But this was a good observation. Like you said, he's in a even smaller town, a town that's considered boring. And, he's like, I was still able to do the most and really enjoy these 8 months, on top of playing basketball, as a professional player and stuff. So this was good. Like I said, y'all make sure y'all subscribe to Jawan's channel. Hopefully he continue to make these, because I think it's good that we do see these differences, especially for young players that you might have NBA dreams. And the NBA may not be calling you, but another country with professional leagues may be calling you, and you can be, you can adapt and be accustomed to their culture and, still be a professional player there. So, but I enjoyed this. Hope y'all did as well. Y'all make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, send down those recommendations. Y'all be blessed, be the best, and be you. I'm out.